Yeah. Hi Terry, hi Patricia, how are you today?
Absolutely wonderful.
What's it like there in San Francisco?
San Francisco, the sun is shining, and we're looking forward to a wonderful weekend.
That's fantastic. And in Florida, Terry, how is it?
It is wonderful, beautiful sunshine. We got a few clouds out there, and we are earthquake-free. Had to say that for Patricia. Earthquake-free over here in Florida.
Yeah, last weekend we had a really big shake.
I understand there's a few people joining us now, but we'll just chat amongst ourselves until it's time to start the webinar, and then we'll go for it formally. So welcome people that have joined us already, and thank you so much for tuning in on at 6 o'clock UK time on a Friday evening. So that's
what's so exciting about this system, Derek, of course, is our over 100 people who registered, even if they can't come live because they're at their pub or still driving home, they can watch the replay.
That's fantastic. And so this will be up on YouTube, etc. Terry, is this how it works?
Yeah, it's one of the nice things about this technology. It's broadcast live, and you can watch it on YouTube live as well as on Google Plus Hangouts right now. And if you think, oh, gee, I can't make it at that specific time, no problem. It is recorded and then made available on YouTube so that anyone can access it on YouTube from their laptop computer, from their tablet, from their portable phone, whatever they want. They'll be able to watch it that way. It's really a breakthrough technology for speakers.
So hang on, I don't quite understand that. How would they watch it on YouTube live? We would send them a link, would we? They don't need to know that link today.
Yeah, they don't need that, but also when you go over into Google Plus Hangout, you'll see that there's an option to click on YouTube, and it would automatically take you over to YouTube and watch it there live.
Okay, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Paul, how are we doing for time? Are we nearly getting ready to go live?
Yes, we're actually live now.
No, I know, but so at what point do you... as the moderator, by the way, people that are listening in, Paul's our moderator. He's there to take your questions and also to make sure we do it properly. Paul, we'll start in a couple of minutes' time. You tell me when the best time to go is, or in your opinion.
Well, whenever you're ready, just go on and go.
Okay. Do you know how many people we've got online now?
Currently, we have 19. Oh, we just went up to 20.
Okay. Okay, well, we're expecting 100, so I just wonder if we should wait a minute or two, or maybe they're just people that are going to watch it later.
Well, let's honor the people who organized their life to be here on time. So why don't you officially kick it off, Derek?
I will, Patricia, and quite rightly, we should be totally professional, start on time, end on time, and everything else. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining this Professional Speaking Association Google Hangout. I don't think that's quite the technical word for it, but it's absolutely a pleasure for me to be hosting this with my friends Patricia Fripp from San Francisco and Terry Brock from Florida. Both Terry and Patricia are great friends of the PSA, although I've had a real job in persuading Patricia Fripp to come over to the UK. I first heard her speak at NSA in New Orleans 12 years ago, and I was blown away with the coaching that she gave me afterwards. And I found out at that point she was actually a Brit, although she was pretending to be an American. And she was born in Wimborne and used to catch a bus to one of my favourite seaside resorts in Bournemouth, where she was a hairdresser before she emigrated. So Patricia's really one of us, really a Brit. And I tried to persuade her to join us at one of our conventions, and it didn't work, and she said I'd rather use my MRs for other things. However, I came up with a devious negotiating plan, and that plan was the first time she came over to Wimborne to visit her brother last year, I decided that I would meet her plane at Heathrow Airport at 6:15 one morning, and I drove her down to Wimborne. Well, it kind of worked, and she was nearly there. So the next time she came over 6 months afterwards, I did exactly the same. Having Fripp in the car for 2 hours, I finally persuaded her to come and join our convention. So Fripp is doing 3 sessions, a Meet the Pros, a keynote on the main platform, and a fantastic workshop on the Friday afternoon, where she will pick people's openings of talks to pieces, but no, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hand over to Fripp and explain to us what she's going to do. And by the
Yes.
way, it's Fripp, isn't it, Patricia? Your
Yes,
friends
all
call
my
you Fripp.
friends like you and Terry call me Fripp.
So may we call you Fripp at our convention?
You may call me Fripp, certainly.
Thank you.
And let's start with the Friday session. And you're making it sound as if I'm going to make people feel bad. This is their opportunity to put their words under the magnifying glass, because we can assume that everyone who's at our conference is going to be good. And they are coming to the conference to notch it up to a whole new level. And first of all, you have to understand some of the principles that will make your words sound more powerful, help you speak to be remembered and repeated, and make your words have more impact. And after some setup remarks on Friday, we will ask for volunteers to just come up and deliver. It could be the opening of a story or the opening of their presentation, which is usually the best place to start, because the first 30 seconds and the last 30 seconds of any presentation has the most impact and closes on a high. And then I just say, just speak until I touch you in an appropriate place, family friendly, on the shoulder, and that means I have a suggestion that you might want to try. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean what you're doing is wrong. It just means sometimes it's good to have a variety of openings. Sometimes it really does make a major difference. Very often it does. And what we do, because like anything, with any technique or any scripting we're working on, you have to try it for an audience. And what we'll have, the audience members will vote. Do they like the suggestion? Would they recommend you incorporate it? So even if you are not in the hot seat being coached, this is a real education learning experience, because the principles in one presentation are the same principles that will apply to your presentation. And very often it's easier to look at somebody else in the hot seat and really understand, okay, so that's what she means by standing like a girl. Okay, I can see how 3-second pause there, or changing this word for that, or standing still instead of moving, can make a major difference. So that will be the Friday session. And while I talk about the keynote, why don't we have Paul set up a poll, Derek, that asks of the people who are now on the line, how many of them are already registered for the PSA conference?
That's a great
idea. My understanding, Derek, is although we have some people on the line who are not PSA members, you can still come. One, you could join and pay a non-member price, or you could in fact join and have a much better price.
Absolutely. If they email me over the weekend, I can fix that for them, because the price goes up on Monday of the convention.
Well, this is the perfect day to have this call then.
Absolutely.
Good job they know the fixer.
Absolutely. I will fix it if they email me.
All right, good. And then what we're going to do for the keynote, we're going to put the words under the magnifying glass, good to great on steroids, and we're going to look at how do you start, structure, improve your stories, emotionally connect to your audience, and add razor-sharp specificity. In the Meet the Pros, whatever they want to know. Back to you.
Well, that's fantastic. So we're really looking forward to it. And I'm going to ask Terry some questions about technology, because this is all new to me. It's working. It's fantastic. I was sweating on it all day. Terry, tell us what's new in the technology world.
Well, there's always something new and exciting, and we'll have a lot more to say next week after Apple has their announcement, and Samsung, of course, very soon after that. But I think one of the most important things in the technology that we've seen, that I have seen in many years, is what we're using right now, Google Plus Hangout. and specifically as it relates to speakers. Because think about it, right now we are conducting this live with very good video. We've got Patricia Fripp all the way out in San Francisco. I'm here in Orlando, Florida. You're in London, and we've got people joining us. I see we have 31 attendees now from scattered all over the place. And so I see this as a way for us as speakers to really be communicators. We're able to communicate and use a different form of communication. It's not the same as being on a platform in front of a large group of people, but there are some similarities, and I think we can learn a lot. So I see it as a better time to be alive today than ever before, Derek.
And what are the latest gadgets and gizmos? What's happening with Twitter and Facebook these days, Terry?
Oh, well, we're still using those. I think we're seeing them more for serious business tools. Twitter is particularly good for listening. And that's where we really want to use it most, to listen and to monitor what people are saying. I love the way that Chris Brogan says it. He says that we need to grow bigger ears so we can listen better. And as we listen better to what's going on and use tools like Twitter, then we're able to do much, much more. And I think that by using that, it'll be good. Also, monitoring Facebook. Facebook is a great way for people to get to know each other in a casual, friendly environment. Watch it on the selling there. We want to be careful on that. It's just a different environment. But in LinkedIn, one of my favorites is you've got a chance to really connect and network. It's seriously about business. You don't put up pictures of your cat or pictures that are frivolous on LinkedIn. That's not the place for it. But by using these tools and doing the right thing and using the tools in the right way, woo, I mean, we have got tremendous opportunities and all kinds of opportunities for those that know how to use it and then use it correctly.
So should people be...
Paul, have you put up the poll? Let's just see. Okay, the poll, 57%, Derek, of the people on this call are registered, 43% are not. So you have 43% of the audience that you can be the fixer for.
Wow, I'd hate to be one of those people that are going to miss listening to you because they didn't sign up. I've seen that, and also if they look on the sign up on Eventbrite, there's a mistake on there. It says there's 81 tickets left. In fact, the numbers have been reversed and there's only 18 tickets left at that price. So it's going to be tricky to fit everybody in the Cumberland Hotel for those fantastic 3 days. So people better sign up to hear one of the best sales presenters in the world speaking to us.
Now, may I ask Terry a question? Because you're talking about Facebook, and what I have been advised to do, which I've started doing, so I hope this is the right strategy, Terry, that to go through my friends on Facebook, because I'm really at my 5,000 limit, so you know they're not all my close friends, and take those and invite them to like my business page so that they can still get all the information on speaking and videos and advice on presentation skills and sales, which I assume was probably how they got to be my friends, and then just keep my friends like you and Derek and my real genuine friends who might be more interested in what's happening in my life personally. Is that what you would recommend your clients do?
Yes, that would be very good. You want to make sure that that personal profile is much more personal. Think of it like a party that you might have at your home for intimate friends, people that you know and they come over, or a close friend of a close friend. That would be the environment, whereas the page would be more appropriate for broadcasting a message to the world. You have unlimited numbers there. That will be there. You want to make sure, though, that you have a lot of key people and where you actively connect with people. Often for those of us that are thought leaders and speakers, to get a higher clout score, it matters to have on your personal profile. And that is a factor at times. But I think that what you're talking about will work well. Focus the attention over there to your page and try to connect with people that way. I find on the same respect over on LinkedIn, making sure that you welcome people, and LinkedIn often says don't bring people in unless you know them. I think that over for us as speakers, there will be many people that might have seen you in a presentation. They were one of the several hundreds that are there, thousands that were there. They didn't get a chance to meet you directly, but they really liked you. They had to walk out and leave. You don't want to lose contact with that person if they want to connect with you on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, I generally have a policy to accept everyone that says, hey, I want to, unless they prove themselves wrong. I see some people that are now abusing that. They become a friend and instantly they send me a sales and marketing message, at which point I very close to instantly remove them as a contact. So you want to make sure that it's really, again, it's all about relationships. Business has always been about that, and with the technology it still is, just that we now have a way to facilitate it even better.
Terry, I bought your book on Clout Score when I was in San Diego. I enjoyed it very much, but can you tell the people watching this and listening to this what they should be doing about Clout?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, as I reach over here, notice these wireless mics are nice, so I can run around here. I just happen to have a Clout book here, shameless plug, Clout Matters, and really what it's about is more about social media and how to do social media right. Too often we say, well, I know I need to be on Facebook, I know I need to be on Twitter, I know I need to be on LinkedIn, but how do you know if you're being really effective? Clout, that's with a K, Clout gives you the ability to measure that. On a scale of 0 to 100, 100 being the highest, you can find out how effective you are in being influential. And so there's a lot of things you can do, and really what it boils down to, I'll give you the essence of it, is engagement. Engage with people in a real helpful way. Now there's specifics that you can do in Twitter, in Facebook, LinkedIn. We talk about those in the book. But the key is, and I think this is the real important point for those of us as speakers, as authors, consultants, coaches, the real key is to engage with people. We've got so much of the selling and the brash, even crass selling that goes on that we get turned off with that. What we want are people that really do care about us and people that can help us. We do want to buy. We want to buy good products and services that can help us. We're not averse to that, but we want to make sure that we do it in the right way.
Now I see some people putting these a post every hour up on Twitter. It's obviously done by a commercial firm, or they programmed it and it's a quote or something. Is that to help their Clout Score? Personally, I'm really bored with it.
Well, it can be boring, and if they do that, it's not going to help their score at all. What matters in your Clout Score is not what you send out and broadcast out, but it's what people respond to. That's the key. You want to put things in there, and you don't get any juice at all on your Clout Score just because you send out a message. Where you do get juice is when people respond to you, when they will retweet what you've done, when they will respond in your Facebook, and they mention you, doing the @mention, or they tag you. Others saying things about you, that's what really boosts your Clout Score.
Okay, Terry.
Well, Derek, if I may, based on what other people are saying, I notice we do have some comments that I will let Paul address. However, Simon did say, I know Jeff said, what are the 43% waiting for who haven't signed up? So, Paul, would you like to see if there are any comments, and we invite, and tell everybody how to write their comments if they're not quite sure?
Absolutely. There are a few comments. Simon mentioned, buy Terry's book, it's superb. We have Nick. Do we have any attendees outside of North America and Europe? He'd be interested to hear how people with a weaker internet are getting the connection through the video. Simon said also, join now and get yourself to Mega, which is the title of the conference. And then we have Mark says, here we go, Clout seems to penalize those of us who use Facebook for friends and family only. And then Simon also asked, how does Clout cope with lots of negative comments? So I know that was a few things, so I'll just let you answer those, Terry.
Okay, well, yeah, I hear what they're saying about Clout tends to penalize those that are using it for friends and family only. Well, think about it. It's there to measure your degree of influence. If your influence is only with your family, only with your friends, then that's not quite as influential as, say, a Sir Richard Branson or a Barack Obama or someone like that. They are very influential and they have very high Clout scores. So it's a way to measure that, and it's a very controversial thing of who is more influential. In the past, though, we would say, well, I think this person is and not that person as much. And it was more of a feeling. with Clout, they've worked to really quantify it and to say this person is quantitatively more influential than others. Is it perfect? By no means. They'll admit that, and we went out to Clout headquarters and talked to them, said we really would like this, and here are some concerns. They were most accommodating. They said, yeah, we have to agree with you on many of the things that we wanted to include. For instance, YouTube videos are not included, which I think they should be. If you are sending out a lot of videos, you have a lot of followers, hey, that means you're influential. And I think it should be. I mean, I think of our fellow NSA member, Judson Lively, who has over 210 million views on his videos. And yet his Clout score, when I last checked, was somewhere in the upper 30s, which is okay, but not great. And I raised that point specifically to Joe Fernandez, the CEO and co-founder of Clout. And he said, yep, by the way, he said he likes his videos. He's watched them and he knows about it. I think they're great. And he said, yeah, that's a good point. They want to do it, but they need to get the access to the API, the application program interface. It's a technical thing. They need to be able to plug in there and get that. They have not been able to yet. So I think that it's something good. And the way I look at it is Clout score is nice, but don't get so tied up on the score. Get more invested in engagement, engaging with people. And because what really matters is in business, it's not your Clout score, but your bank account. And if you've got a good bank account, that takes care of a whole lot of other things. The Clout score, though, is a good way to measure how you're doing in certain areas.
Terry, I know I'm conscious of the time. Before I switch back to Patricia and talk about the convention, can you give, first of all, can you confirm that you'll be in the UK in 2015 and you'll be speaking for us?
Well, I didn't know that, but that is something that I'm hearing for the first time and would be delighted to do something like that. So let me check with my manager, Gina Carr, and we'll find out if we could do it. We would love. Where's it going to be in 2015?
We're not sure, but it'll probably be in the London area. We haven't decided that. We'll review how it works at the Cumberland Hotel in Oxford Street and then make a decision. But it'll be pretty close to Heathrow, and I suppose I'll have to come and pick you up like I have to pick Fripp up as well. So the Derek Arden taxi service is pretty good.
Yes, and a nice London Pride or Boddington's would be very good. That will be part of the fee, you know.
Okay. Well, I'll take that as a yes, Terry. Thank you.
Okay, we will talk on that, but I would say that a tentative yes and an excited yes here on our part. Great thing to do to kick off our long weekend we have here in the States called Labor Day this weekend. And so it's a very big party for us here, and what a great way to start it. Thank you.
Okay, and what's your final tip for people, for speakers, in 2014 as we go into the autumn, the fall as you call it? What ought to they be focusing on under the 80-20 rule? Things that matter.
I think the key is think in terms of how to use technology to leverage that and to get closer to people. Google Plus Hangout, again, this is what we're using right now. We're using an add-on called Webinar Jam that goes on top of it. It doesn't come naturally with Google Plus, and it costs about $300 a year, but you put this on top of it. It gives you the ability to do the polls that we're doing right now, to see the attendees that are coming in, so you can get more connected with them and build better relationships. You can send out registration announcements beforehand and let people know, hey, don't forget there's a seminar coming up that you registered for next Tuesday, or you've got 2 hours or you got 30 minutes or whatever. You can put those in and then send out messages afterwards as well. And if those that can't be there still want to be there, they can watch on YouTube later. So it's a tool that I'm not selling it. I don't sell Google Plus Hangouts. They're not giving me any money, although they should be. But I think that it's something that we need to get to know as speakers, work with, and have some fun with it, and get involved with it. It's really a breakthrough technology for us.
Thanks, Terry. That's fantastic, and we look forward to seeing you. I expect we'll have some questions in a minute. Fripp, can I turn to you just for a couple of minutes? Can you give the viewers your 3 top tips that you've passed on over the 20-30 years you've been a top international speaker that people should use?
Certainly, and many of the 3 top tips, really, they've changed over the years. I would say if you are a good working, successful speaker, especially those who might be thinking, oh, Fripp, I'm so damn good, I should be giving you keynote, not you. Take one of your speeches and have it transcribed. And then look at the script and look at what actually came out of your mouth, and you will be horrified. I know, I have mine transcribed. I'm often, how could I start 5 sentences with so, or now, or whatever you can see. So there's the videos that we create, and then we edit them perhaps for promos. This is take the actual sound, have it transcribed, and tell the transcriptionist, don't do it yourself, I want you to write exactly what I hear. Don't clean it up for an article. If you if you if you have long run-on sentences and they can't see any place whatsoever to be putting commas, then you know you need to slow down and cut what you're saying into phrases rather than sentences. So that would be the one big one. Have it transcribed. If you are fairly new to speaking, or if you're really looking at, I still have a day job, I'm speaking, I want to, or even I'm a corporate trainer or presenter and I want to be superb, I would look at, one, how original is your content? Can we really see your life and your life experience in it? Find to quote other people. Find to give credit to other people who taught you what you now know. Obviously, everything I teach, I learned. I know it when I first joined NSA. Look at the caliber, quality, and originality of what you say. 3, and this will be part of my keynote, is look at your speech structure. The structure really is the skeleton under the flesh of your words. And as our friend Lou Heckler says, a structure doesn't freeze you as in F-R-E-E-Z-E. It frees you as in F-R-E-E-S. When you have a simple, logical, conversational structure, it is easier for you to remember what you're going to say, and it's easier for the audience to remember. And I will be teaching a very simple formula that even if you deliver the same speech to different audiences, of how you can focus on your premise statement and connect to each audience. And if I was going to add you a 4th tip, again we'll discuss it in all the sessions, will be how to add dialogue to your stories. So you don't report on the dialogue, you deliver the dialogue. An example of that might be, I was having a conversation with Derek and he told me that he really wanted me to come to speak at PSA. Compared to delivering the dialogue is, I wish you could have been there. When Derek grabbed me in the hall of an NSA convention and said, Fripp, what do I have to do to get you to come to PSA? So they would be 3 techniques and a bonus.
Fantastic. Now I'm wondering if we've got any more questions coming in.
Paul, can you look and see if we have any questions?
Absolutely, we do have a few. Well, first off, the chat room is pretty abuzz with the idea of Terry coming to the UK in 2015, so that's up to you guys to deal with.
Well, aren't they excited about me coming? I think it's great that Terry's going next year, and Derek did tell me, Fripp, you've got to be prepared, that Terry's a lot more famous to our group than you are.
Well, but you're a lot better looking and have a huge amount of information that people can learn from. I have learned a lot from Fripp and listening to her, and you've got to be there and take lots of notes. It'll be very important.
Okay, so, and I apologize, the questions. Question on Clout, how does it cope with lots of negative comments?
Actually, negative comments can actually give you more juice. It means that you're getting information. It means that it's there and people are paying attention to you. You think about it, if someone is saying a lot of things and getting a lot of negative controversy in the news, that person is more influential, maybe in a bad way. You know, they would say something, people would say, I'm not going to do it. But it really is just a measure to objectively pull the emotion out of it and look at it quantitatively. How much influence is someone getting? And it's a continual work as they move forward with it.
And I'm going to combine these last two questions into kind of one. There's a difference between being a person of influence and a random noise generator. There's a lot of the latter out there. And also, is someone who engages a lot with their friends, they'll get an unusually high clout score. What kind of influence is that? So, noise generator and someone who engages with their friends.
It would depend. If you're doing a lot of noise, like for instance, there's always what we call the birthday bounce. You get a lot of people to say, hi, happy birthday to you that one day of the year, or at least it should be only one day of the year. And so you get a big score then. You could say, wow, that's great. But what they've done is they've realized that, and they do what's called data smoothing. And they use some fancy number crunching things, and the quant jocks that put it all together, really, really smart people, they average that out. So it might go up a little bit after a big event, a birthday or something, but they're looking more at a 90-day period. So they're trying to smooth out some of that to make sure it's there. And I think that as far as the influencers, if you're talking to your people, a lot of it, your score will depend on not just how many responses you get and the people that respond to you, but who they are. If you can figure out a way to get David Cameron, Barack Obama, Bill Gates, and let's say Ellen DeGeneres to all respond to you on a daily basis, your clout score will go very high. If you can do that, the more influential people are who respond to you, the better off you are. Finding those people that have clout scores in the 80s or 90s, which would be a lot, saying good things about you and just interacting with you will definitely affect your clout score positively.
So Terry, what's your clout score?
Mine is, I think, 76 something today. So it changes every day, up and down, and sometimes it'll go down, and sometimes I'll be gone. Like for instance, I'm getting ready to leave next week. Speakers can relate to this. I'll be gone. I'm going to Mexico, and then I come back and then bounce over to Germany, and we'll be over at the German Speakers Association. Looking forward to that. I might not be able to do as much with clout while I'm out on the road, so the score could go down, just that I'm busy. But other times, if I get some pictures or see some people or whatever, then that could boost it up a little bit higher. So it just depends, and it will go up and down. I think the key is you look at overall, are you engaging with people? I think one of the best tools, here's a really good way you could use clout, is forget the score for a moment. Look at what has happened on clout.com. When you're registered, you'll see which posts that you put out on Facebook, on Twitter, and others that got the most response. That's good to know. So you can look at it and go, whoa, that post I did last Wednesday got a lot of generation. It shows me several green dots on the screen. That other one that I thought was really going to be good, it didn't get anything. It didn't do much at all. Okay, that's good feedback to know. Because what matters is not what I think. I'm not buying my products. What matters is what the market says. And clout is a way to objectively, quantitatively measure that.
Let's go back to speaking for a moment while I've got you, Terry, and then I'll ask Patricia the same question. You're both CSP, CSP, AE, or whatever the qualification is, but the qualification is the highest award that the American speakers have given anybody, which is fantastic, and it's a privilege to have both of you on the line and also to have both of you as friends of the Professional Speakers Association in the UK. Lots of our members are pretty new. We assume often that people have been speaking for a long time. They could be trainers very much, and they'd like to become a professional speaker. They look up to people like you two. What would be the tip you'd give them to enhance their speaking, even if they're working in a company, in a business at the moment? What would be the #1 tip that you would give them?
I think, again, it comes back to engagement. And you look at something like, for instance, CSP, the Certified Speaking Professional. That is a very, very good tool to use to make sure you're doing the right things in speaking. They have identified areas that are important for you to be measured by and how you are performing. CSP is a good goal, not just because of the letters you get behind your name, that's nice, but what matters is doing those particular tasks. They've changed them in light of changing conditions. I'm not up on what the latest are right now because they have adjusted, but they recognize involvement with online events, offline events, keeping track of records, and becoming a little more organized. Good principles for running a speaking business. And I would say if you do not have your CSP yet, that's something look into, because being a certified speaking professional is good, CSP, and I know in the UK, you're with a Professional Speaking Association, you have the fellows, because being certified is not necessarily a good thing over in the UK, I hear. But being a professional who it becomes a fellow, now that's a different ballgame. And so find the criteria and go for it to become a better person. I love the way that Jim Rohn said it so well. I think this applies there. He said you should strive very hard to make $1 million, or even better, £1 million. Do that, not for the money. The money you can take and you can say, well, you can give that away or do something with it, whatever. But it's because of who you become as you earn that money. That's the real reason to do it.
Fantastic tip, Terry. In fact, UK speakers can become CSPs if they want to. Graham Codrington is, Frank Finesse is, and some of our friends. But it's much easier for us in Britain to become a fellow and the fellowship of the Professional Speaking Association. Fripp, what would you
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Terry. What would your tip be?
Well, I'm going to step back more to when you don't even have the dream to be a CSP. Let's go lower than that. And looking at my own personal journey, when I was in San Francisco in my early 30s, I opened my own hairstyling business, and I'd been to Dale Carnegie and Toastmasters, and I was traveling nationwide delivering seminars for a hair product company and being paid to do that. And then my executive clientele asked me to speak at their Rotary clubs, Kiwanis clubs, breakfast meetings. And I realized that people who heard me speak came in my salon. When I started speaking, I had no idea I would end up with the life and the career that I've been lucky enough to enjoy. It was just I realized I liked speaking. It was a great way to promote my business. And that's how it all started. So what we did, and this is the #1 piece of advice, after you have something to say, craft some sort of presentation, next is tell everybody you know, I have a speech on this, this, or this. Invite me. Because the only way that you will become a good speaker that can then learn to evolve to a great and world-class presenter is to start speaking, record yourself, evaluate, revisit, refocus, retweak, do it again. You have to speak. Yes, you can watch DVDs. Yes, you can come to seminars. Yes, you can read the books. Yes, you can get podcasts. And certainly we all have materials that you can learn and events that you can come to. The biggest challenge I have to make to a lot of the people who follow me is, okay, good. Now put this to work. You have to speak to somebody. Even if it's at the absolute beginning, invite 15 of your best friends to come sit in your living room and listen to your speech. So you have to speak. You do need to record what you're saying and actually watch it or listen to it. It's amazing. A lot of executives or business professionals call me and say, I'm getting feedback from my boss that I speak too fast. I said, well, have you ever recorded your side of conversations? No. Well, how do you know if the feedback you're getting is valid if you can't see it or watch it yourself? Mm-hmm. The best advice, and I am confident, Derek, at the PSA conference, not only from Fripp, but from everybody else, they are going to receive great advice and information. You have to do something with it and take action.
Fripp, that's fantastic advice. Ladies and gentlemen watching this webinar, thank you very much indeed for watching. I just wanted to tell you that the Professional Speaking Association in the UK is in the best shape it's ever been. We've got double the membership that we had 3 years ago. We've got 12 regions now and we had 4. We've got a hugely enthusiastic board of directors. Regional presidents are doing an absolutely marvellous job, and the membership, with the energy that comes out from the membership, it's absolutely amazing. And if you come to our conference, I know a lot of you are, the networking will be awesome, the people you'll meet will be fantastic, and remember one thing, you become the person you spend the most time with, and by spending time at this convention from the 10th of October to the 12th of October, you will learn so much to take away into your speaking business, your training business, your management consulting business, and you'll learn things that you may not have even thought of. It's my pleasure to have hosted this seminar with Patricia Fripp and Terry Brock, big friends of ours. Thank you very much indeed, guys. Patricia, we'll see you in October. Terry, we'll see you next year, because it sounds like you've just been signed up.
Well, I appreciate that. It's an honor. Thank you very much, Derek. And Fripp, we're always great to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks very much, everybody, and good night. Have a fantastic weekend.